the cinephiles, freaks, and weirdos. Tape heads, ghouls, and ghosts love to tune in and listen to Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Skin Slip and Owen Neal are going to reveal their thoughts on movies that most people don't dare to watch. Psychotronic. 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 Welcome back to another exciting episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast, where we're literally scraping the bottom of the barrel, also skimming the edges, and also the top. We're just kind of nowhere but the middle, where everyone else is. We're at the edges. We're watching all these weird shot-on-video films done by kids who are, like, their first year of college. Anyway.
Maybe.
This is just some assumptions made by me. We watched Teddy Bomb, released 2014. It's available from their website for like $15 plus like $10 shipping. $15 depending on where you are, I guess. Upwards of 20 for some people, I suppose. But
I'll have to check it again.
Teddy Bomb, 2014. It is an action. Yeah, it's an action film that with horror inspiration, of course, with some horror references. But definitely it's an action film about a boy and his bomb. Yeah, and all the things that go wrong with that.
Well, not his bomb.
Oh, a boy and a bomb. Okay, fair. Anyway, so it's a very, very, very low budget production. And you'll notice the minute it fires up that it looks like it was made for two shiny nickels rubbed together very furiously. But to be fair, that's the thing about filmmaking is there's always hidden costs you never think about. So I'm sure it didn't cost two shiny nickels, but it does definitely look very low budget. But by the way, it being extremely low budget does not hamper it one bit, because man, I had a blast watching this movie. So why don't you take us through it, Owen? Who is my co-host here? I forgot to introduce. Here he is, Owen. He has a way better beard than I do.
I'll do my best to take you through it.
Yeah. Do it, buddy. I believe in you.
Alright. I believe the main character's name is Chris.
Christian, Chris.
Christopher.
Both Christopher. I think it's Christian and Chris. It's short. Chris is short. So.
He's set up. He's kind of a slacker. He writes to-do list, doesn't finish most of it. Keeps standing up his beautiful girlfriend for some reason, who could probably do way better than him, but she sticks around.
Hey, that's up to her to decide.
Well, the way he keeps standing her up, she should have decided a long time ago.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
He basically mopes around and apparently delivers alcohol.
Yeah, that's the thing. There people like in large urban areas, they do have alcohol delivery where you can get alcohol and other sundries delivered to your door. So
and
that
he
is a thing.
Gets beat up by a teenager
who clearly illegally ordered alcohol.
Who paid him in, it looked like Monopoly money that was photocopied. Like not even Monopoly money. Like he had to keep that for his game.
It was Canadian.
So no. This was clearly fake money. Because he threw it.
It was Canadian. Regardless of whether it was fake or not, it was supposed to be Canadian money, not Monopoly money.
He threw it. He wouldn't throw real money.
No, but even if it was fake money, it was fake Canadian money. It wasn't Monopoly money, is my point.
I'm pretty sure he paid him in Monopoly money because he didn't pay him was the idea, and he threw the money because the guy didn't pay him.
Well, I did previously just talk about how low budget this film. I think this film was. I still think it was real Canadian money.
No, we saw real Canadian money later.
Oh, God. Okay.
I believe that the joke was he delivered the beer. Guy was underage, gave him fake money
You're right.
because he threw it, and then when he was leaving, the guy chucked pennies at the back of his head, and then punched him in the gut.
No, what are you doing?
And he was like an underage kid.
I'm trying to pull up the information for this.
I'm telling you.
No, that has nothing to do with it. You're right. I'm sure. That's why you go through the things, because like I don't have very good memory.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. He gets beat up by a teenager, so he goes and mopes to his friend who runs, which looks like a pretty rad video store.
Yeah, dude. What was the name of the that sign? What was it? Do you remember?
I'm blanking on that.
Oh, we made a comment about it and everything.
Yeah, I kept saying, like, pay attention to what he's putting on the shelf. We might find future watches.
Like, and I was just like, well, I have that, I have that, I have that. That's all on our list. Those are all on our list. It was 12 films from the Mill Creek cult driving classics line. It had 4 volumes of it, only 3, and then they consolidated 3 of them plus the After Dark movie collection into one to the 32 movie set. Anyway, that was, I believe, volume 2 that he was putting on the shelf. I'm a collector of that line of DVDs. That was why I know this dumb shit.
You know, they have a conversation. They talk about Rock'em Sock'em, where apparently they go to the roof, and his friend tries to punch him, and he blocks it. It was kind of confusing. I dubbed it the Clerks moment. We're like, we gotta go to the roof. Ignore our video store and go to the roof. And then he gives him a sword to take home. And then he argues with his girlfriend. Well, not really. He doesn't argue. She yells at him. She brought him comics because he stood him up for comic night.
Yes,
it's just pretty much.
She brought him floppies specifically. She described them. That's just a comic book nerd term for single issues.
So he goes home after that day. He writes down his new to-do list, which is just be a better person.
Stop being such a loser, basically.
Yeah. And then he gets, of course, immediately he's late for work. He goes to deliver beer, and nobody answers the door. There's a dude in the hallway with a ski mask. He ends up leaning on the door. It opens. He goes in.
No, he's knocking on the door, and he headbutts it, and the door opens.
And something's not right in there. Something's talking to him.
You think you hear a child or something in the background?
No, you hear what would end up being the Teddy start talking to him.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And he's just really
confused.
confused.
A child at first, put it that way.
That's where there was just a giant stack of Canadian money.
The other Monopoly money in the film.
Yeah. And he accidentally drops the bear in his bag. Guy comes in, tells the dude in the mask to kill him, and then we're set off on our main adventure now.
Yep, just like that.
It's still, he doesn't realize the bomb, which is a teddy bear, talks, because it's just like, go left, dodge, and he's like avoiding the guy trying to kill him.
Now I'd like to point out that before that he like has a nightmare about like zombies. He wakes up, he goes to the video store, he gets a phone call, wakes up from a call from his girlfriend. He goes to the video store to like hang out with his friend, and like they do kung fu and shit. But
yeah,
there's all these like little references to movies, and like at one part there's even the kung fu movie foot slide close up where you just see the foot sliding through dirt or rocks. In this case, it was the gravel on top of this roof. But anyway, I forgot to mention that. It just came.
Yeah, there was a ton of he would come home and there's Night of the Living Dead on his TV.
Well, it wasn't on his TV. It was actually a video of someone videoing the TV. So it was like, it would look like it was someone filming the movie with like a camera, and then that video was put on the TV. That's what it looked like. Because it's been a really low quality Night of the Living Dead, but that's what it looked like. Which is kind of funny if you think about it. Mildly humorous.
Yeah. I believe at this point he ends up in a park. Some goons are confronting him. They find the teddy bomb in his bag, but they all get flashbanged. And then the man in the hat shows up and just slaughters them all with a machete.
That's the character name, by the way. The man in the hat. No joke. He sends his goon Sideshow, who's the guy who lost an eye and all such and such. That guy's named Sideshow, apparently. To retrieve it. Didn't it?
So are we at his apartment at this point?
Yeah, because he runs back away from these guys. With the
They come to his apartment.
Yeah, they come to his apartment, try to get it from him, and he...
Well, he pukes a lot first.
Yeah.
He
Considers dialing 911, but then he passes out. When he wakes up, Sideshow and his goons aren't there yet, but he wakes up and, like, for some reason...
Also, during that, he realizes the teddy talks.
Right.
Because he talks about how he has a weak stomach and stuff.
He wakes up, and he was like, I guess, him and Han about, like, calling 911, and then Sideshow and his goons show up.
Yep.
Sideshow's is, by the way, the only person in this movie who's been in more than one movie. Other than the man in the hat who directs his own movies, apparently. Or directed his own documentary. So anyway. It's just IMDb trivia. It's like all the trivia I can give you from IMDb. Sideshow's played by this guy named Adam Thorne, who I think is a director in his own right. Filmography. He directed Personal Space Invader, Personal Space Invader 2, and Muppet Pastor. Okay. Muppet Pastor's not done yet, but Personal Space Invader 1 and 2, I don't know. But he's been in a bunch of other movies too, including Hardly Boiled and Personal Space Invader 1 and 2.
You think Hardly Boiled is like a spoof on Hard Boiled?
I hope so.
Or is it about eggs?
Otherwise, it's a waste. It's a waste fucking title. Oh, and the girlfriend's name is Jenny, by the way.
Yeah.
We didn't say that before. Her name is Jenny. There. Anyway.
Yes. The guy, the one goon with the Sideshow or whatever you call him.
His name's Sideshow, yeah.
He's like, I got the teddy bomb, and then it melts all his skin off. It just not evaporates, but
poor bastard gets melted or whatever.
Melts him.
Yeah.
And
Sideshow,
then he gets a pencil right in his eyeball.
Yeah, and we think he's dead. And we even get like it's the cheesy like disguise the fact that we don't have any special effects to put a pencil through your eyeball, so you're just gonna hold your hand up like this with the pencil. But then like we get a nice shot where he's laying down, where it's kind of like in the crook of his eye, but like it's better than nothing.
Didn't he already lose his fingers at that point too?
I think that's next for some reason.
No, I think he lost his fingers in the park or somewhere around there.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. He loses his fingers at some point. From the teddy bear.
This poor fucking bastard.
He reaches into the maybe it was in the apartment too. He reached in the bag to get the teddy bear and it chewed off his fingers.
Let me blow my nose real quick. Okay. Yeah, I guess I remember him losing his fingers at some point to the teddy. I just don't know if it's before or after he gets loses the eye.
I want to say it's before the park.
I feel like the park is after the apartment. Because the apartment's the first time they meet.
I swear he like grabs the bag and the teddy bear chews his fingers, and then he ends up in the park with different goons.
That's possible. I mean, like, you know.
Or it was in the apartment. Doesn't matter.
My brain...
Fingers got chewed off.
Yeah.
Pencil in the eye.
Funny, we just watched this movie. I don't remember what happened in it.
But he books it to his friend's movie place again, trying to explain what's going on. The teddy's a bomb. People want to kill him. Friend doesn't truly believe him. And then, old One Eye, we can call him now, Sideshow shows up with some goons. He shows up, right?
Yep.
That's where he gets his leg broken.
That's later, actually.
Are you sure?
He gets his leg broken in the fight in the video store.
Yeah, that's where we are now.
The park happened before that, right?
Park. We already talked about the park.
Okay. Then yes. This is where that happens, yes. Also, his friend shows off his mad kung fu skills, which are not... by the way, if anyone who actually knows martial arts, you're just going to laugh your ass off at the fighting, because it's wholly unconvincing.
But it's great.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's really enjoyable. I didn't have a problem with it. I'm just saying, like, martial arts, you can be annoyed, but like these people aren't acting. These people don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know.
Yeah.
By the way, martial arts. A lot of martial artists get annoyed by that when they watch action films. They're like, these people aren't trained.
He just
that guy's never taken a punch. He flinches. You know, like.
He destroyed everybody.
Yep.
Breaks Sideshow's leg. Everyone starts running away. Even Sideshow. He runs down the stairs pretty well.
Yeah.
Leg.
We see his leg go fucking like reverse, and then suddenly in the next shot, he's like running down the stairs and on his own leg. I'm like, no. Although
it's funny, is he beats everyone up, but in true action movie thing, he up and just straight stomps some guy's head like clean off. Like, I'm gonna punch you, but you're fucking dead.
Yep. That one poor bastard gets killed for no reason other than death.
Well, he did swing a gun out and was gonna shoot.
To be fair, look, if you're gonna fight a bunch of people at once, the rule is you have to put one of those guys down, you have to put them down quick and in such a way that it scares the other people to engage you. Otherwise, you're gonna have a problem with guys kicking your ass all the time. So, to be fair, just saying, you do have to be extreme if you have to fight multiple dudes, because you gotta make sure, like, you show that there's consequence for attacking you. Concept, anyway.
Basically, he just sits around and watches action movies all day and then can duplicate them.
Yep. And our main character basically sits and watches the action all day while people save his life.
Yeah, he hid behind the counter the whole time like a chump.
Like a fucking chicken shit. It was great.
And after that awesome moment, boom. Man with the hat comes in and shoots him right in the head. He's dead. No more friend.
Yep. I was like, holy shit. I didn't expect it. I literally exclaimed, holy shit.
There's also, at this point, we should put in the little thing that was mentioned where he says, before he kills the guy with a gun, he gets Chris warns him, he kills him, and he says, I owe you one. And then Teddy Bomb asks what that is, and he explains it. He says he can't let me die now because he owes me one or something like that, which pays off later.
Yep, a bunch of things pay off later, actually, from the beginning, which is kind of nice. So, you know, I like, look, it's low budget. Oh, and then a heads up, the entire soundtrack's redubbed, I would say. And I don't even know if they're the same people doing the voices, but they're there. It's actually pretty decently done, but it commits the one sin that 99% of these movies that we end up watching are. It's terrible sound. There's no ambient sound in most scenes, and the audio isn't mixed properly, so it sounds like it's just in a room, even though they're out in the park or in a parking garage, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty common with the low budget films, because the one thing, it's like you get to that point and you're out of fucking money, right? And you just want the movie to be done. And you can't afford sound, because sound's expensive. But it's really well shot. And it's actually a really funny movie. So this shouldn't bother you unless it's like a pet peeve of yours. Anyway, sorry I got sidetracked there, but I'd point out that there's all ADR sound. It's all post-dialogue recording.
Okay.
Yep. Good shit.
I don't remember how he escaped the Man in the Hat.
Which time?
From the video store. He killed his friend. He ran out the back door. No, he ran on the roof and then jumped off.
Yeah, he ran off the roof, jumped off the roof, right.
The Teddy told me he'd be fine. And then he got injected from the Teddy and he started tripping balls.
Hours, and then that happened, yeah.
He was tripping some straight up balls with like monsters and puppets and shit.
Yeah, once he moved that fucking puppet, that was rad. It was this crazy, like Deadly Spawn-esque puppet. It's pretty cool.
I'm trying to remember. I believe he wants to deactivate the Teddy. Teddy said he had a code on his tag, which is in his apartment, because one of the guys ripped it off.
Right, and he wants to go back there, but then he's like, yeah, I shouldn't, because they're going to be waiting. And then his girlfriend calls.
Says, I'm going to your apartment.
Right now, and hangs up on him, and he's like, oh, crap. So he has to go to the apartment.
Yes, which is fully guarded.
By the way, there is a moment, and he makes comments that she's like super smart and like a martial artist and a marksman, and we think he's just kind of like exaggerating. But in this next scene, when they finally meet up, the man in the hat and his goons show up, and that's the moment she believes him in this story about the bomb, Teddy being a bomb, and she goes into action and she kicks ass to the most of this movie. Pretty cool shit.
He's basically trying to sneak in the building where there's goons everywhere, and then Teddy chews right through a guy, just right through his stomach,
just right through him. Just fuck him, done.
And then since there's blood on him, he has to go into cleaning mode.
Right before this, we go, why didn't he just electrocute the man in the hat and his goons? And Teddy says because he's recharging, and now he's got blood in him, so he's got to clean the blood out, so he can't do anything.
Yeah, because he never mentions this before, but the first goon they meet at the apartment, he just blows the guy's head up.
Yep.
And he's like, you could do that the whole time. I guess it's like that thing, like, you didn't ask me.
He has to charge up and stuff, so I think he's out of power for that ability right now.
You know, you didn't ask me if I could kill someone with my mind power, so I didn't do it. You know?
Like, oh, okay, Teddy, my bad. Fuck.
You should have asked.
Shit. How am I supposed to know?
But yeah, he ends up in his apartment. She's there. And who's in the bathroom listening to some music? Sideshow.
That's right.
Who he quickly cuts his hand off.
Just because Sideshow pulls a gun to go shoot Chris, and Chris cuts his fucking hand off.
Because he had a sword that his friend from the video store gave him.
Correct. That they were fucking around with earlier in the movie, very beginning of the movie. Look at my new cool sword, and then they were like, oh, that's neat. What the fuck's that to do anything? And then, like, 15 minutes later, he comes back to the video store and like, oh, there's the sword. And then we finally use it. We're like, yay,
I don't know why he sent it home with him. I think he told him to swing it around to his apartment. Probably.
Make him feel better or whatever. Yeah.
Because then when they were at the video store fight, he was like, I wish I had my sword right now.
Oh, that's right. In his apartment.
Yep. So it was there. Right. But they cannot. So she believes him now. There's terrorists after him, and they can't find the code was on a tag that the guy ripped off earlier, but it's nowhere to be found. Which I laughed at the shot because it's like it showed like, oh yeah, my apartment, and it shows the goon ripping it off, and it's just like handwritten, like important, do not remove the activation code inside with like arrows pointing.
And it's real quick, and you're like, okay. He told her the tag off, and then it's revealed that the tag's important. Yeah. Hold on, I got 1 minute. One thing. Sorry, allergies are acting up. All right.
But she's fully in now. Picks up the guy's gun, and they have a good old shootout. She's just blowing everybody away.
Because she's awesome in this movie.
And Man in the Hat's the only one left. I'm just going to jump to the roof. Because she gets beat up a little bit. He smacks her with a gun. He's going to blow her away. Chris distracts him. And then she blows him off the roof with a shotgun. Yeah. Falls off the... And is he dead? Seemingly so right now, anyways.
And we're like, whoa, halfway through the movie. What the fuck are they going to do now? Like, literally, this is halfway through the movie.
And then they're like in a park, and then she's like, oh, I'm with you. And he's like, no, you can't be. And he flash bombs her and leaves her somewhere. Because he has to go to...
Like Men in Black blinds her or something.
And he has to go, I don't know. Because at that point they remember some professor, and he's going to go get the bomb deactivated is the idea. And then, I don't know, he goes to like his parents' house to hang out, and then like he forces the teddy to watch he's trying to explain jokes to the teddy bear. This is where he walked out. He's trying to explain jokes to the teddy bear, and then
I had to go pee.
He mentions Johnny Five, so he makes him watch Short Circuit.
Oh, I was just mentioning Short Circuit the other day.
Which they don't show. It's from the back of the TV, and it's clearly someone overdubbing what it's not even the sound from the movie. It's like just someone else doing the line. It's supposed to be the movie.
Oh man!
And they basically watch like 3 movies, and the teddy bear is just like, kill me. It's like, what are you doing? And then he orders pizza, and he's like, "You shouldn't do that." And then I thought like he ate the pizza already because he's like, "Oh, my stomach hurts." Because this is kind of confusing. And then the Teddy's like, "I'll help," and like injects him with that shit again. That's why I thought this whole next scene he was hallucinating, where it's the man in the hat, and he has a guy that's teenager earlier that he yelled at, who apparently is the pizza man, and everything's all weird. So I'm like, is he tripping balls again? But apparently no, the man in the hat's back.
He is tripping
Pizza
balls,
man
but
dies.
also the pizza man's there to get shot.
Yeah, he like electrocutes him with a teddy bear, I think, and
So
or
doesn't have
flash bombs
face, I
him.
think.
He escapes, but he's all mad and upset that he let the kid die.
Yep, blaming himself.
Which he didn't blame himself for his fucking friend dying earlier. He didn't give two shits. He's like, well, he's dead. I'm out.
I know that was a bit of a problem, yeah.
And then there was a mention
Bit of a
of
logical inconsistency in the script and acting.
Now I'm blanking. Where does he meet up with Jenny again? I think he buries the bear at this point, right? He's done. He's like, I'm burying you. Yeah, he buries the bear, which is kind of sad, actually. The bear's like, I thought we were friends. He's like,
I need you
throwing
and you
dirt
need
on him.
me. Yeah. Oh, when
He
he goes
goes
to
to
the
the
school to find the professor.
Blood's under the door.
The professor's door. That professor doesn't answer the door, and he looks down. And there's blood at the bottom of the door, and he's like, "Oh."
And then you have some POV, which is the man in the hat wandering around the school, just murdering anyone he sees.
Some poor bastard stuck in his crosshairs.
Yep. It was pretty funny though, because he's like, I think, am I just talking to myself? Because I don't want to be talking to myself. He's just yelling while he's walking through the school.
Oh God. What happens after?
And then him and eventually they capture him and Jenny, and he brings him to where the bear is buried. And then he wants the activation code to turn it on, which he never did, but apparently he did when he picked up the bear. But they're breaking her arm and her fingers, and so he tells them it's high, which just electrocutes the guy. At some point she shoots him a bunch too.
I don't know if that's garage for this, right? I think.
I don't know. I can't remember anymore. All I know is no, they shoot. After he gets electrocuted, she shoots him a bunch, and he stands back up, and he punches right through her.
Oh, that rips her heart out, which looked really fake and awful.
Yeah, extremely fake plastic heart. So she's dead now. And then he says something like, "Wow, whoa," and that's the activation code. Apparently.
Ow is the activation code.
Ow.
Ow. I think it's because when he was in that room, he got attacked, right? And the first thing he says, right when like he goes crashing, is "ow," and I bet you that's when the bear was activated and ta-da, you know. But yeah, ow. Ow was the activation code.
So at this point, I'm like, I think he's a cyborg.
Oh yeah, he's showing
or an android.
It was a good thing. They made a Terminator reference when talking to the bear about killing people.
But yeah, they chop his hand off, and oh, yeah, I was right. He's electronic.
I think at first you thought it might be a zombie type character, like a undead
I did
character.
not think he was a zombie character.
Like an undead person or something. Because you're like.
I did never think that.
Mentioned something about zombies at some point.
There were zombies earlier. Apparently he dreams about zombies constantly. Whatever.
Fear, you know?
But he just ends up waking up in his apartment. Yeah, he just wakes up in his apartment, and he's got a note being like, "Hey, I got the bomb. Thanks. If you ever need the code, here it is. But I've deactivated it." He's like, "What?" So now he's just at his place. He's all depressed. Rips up his to-do list, which he clearly didn't do.
And his girlfriend is now dead. I don't blame him for being depressed, to be fair.
We also forgot to mention at one point that Teddy is in his brain. Like, it zaps into his brain.
He installed nanobots into his brain so he could talk to him because he was trying to be quiet and Teddy needed to talk to him.
Yeah. He gets one last communication where he's like, he's in a dark place. He's deactivated. Says something, I don't know.
Gives him hints
and
stuff. Yeah.
Seemingly, he's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna let the fucking city blow up. I don't give a shit. But no. He's like, no. He heads out. Apparently, finds out where they are. Just starts killing everybody, and then has a showdown with the man in the hat, punching each other. He finds Teddy. Teddy starts talking to him. But the man in the hat activates him. 5 minutes. That bomb's gonna go off. What was it, like 5 something? It was a huge explosion. 5 or 10 kilometers.
Oh, it was 100 kilometers. It was a big explosion.
Oh shit. That's even bigger. And the teddy bear is like,
it's huge. I think they were talking about like the city would be devastated. Was the idea. It
was like half the city will be gone.
Yeah.
I was like, what about the other half? He's like, I don't know.
No, not my problem.
But yeah. He ends up taking the hat off the guy, and it's full of electronics. He smashes it, and that deactivates him. Apparently that's where his brains were. Just in his hat.
Oh, first he's like, oh, you can't win. I got the code. And he's like, oh, this? You must have dropped it. He like stole it from him in the middle of a scuffle. That was a great moment. And then he stole it. Because earlier, that guy did that to him. Yes.
So I get him back.
Yeah, but then he stomps on the hat. It's pretty good shit.
But the code, the last number is missing or smudged or something. Smudged, he says, yeah. So he's got 25 seconds. He reads it. He says, for last number, 8. And then Teddy says, what if I told you this wasn't real or something like that? And you hear beeping, and then it just goes to credits. So
the bomb either went off, or it didn't go off, or it was all a dream.
It was a dream. Was that his alarm clock going off?
If it was just a dream, then fuck you. That's the worst fucking ending you can ever do for a movie, and fuck you. You should know better. But leaving it ambiguous is probably a smart idea, because if you answer that question, fuck you. Should ever use that as an ending, for fuck's sakes.
So here's your 3 options. Dream. He's fucking dead with most of the city. Or he deactivated it.
But we don't know. And then post credits, there seems to be some alternate takes for the YouTube version that we watched, which we're guessing the director approves of, because he commented on the post saying, "Hey, you should support this by buying it, and you should absolutely support this. Spoiler alert: we enjoyed the fuck out of this movie, and you should support this movie and buy it." Anyway, so what do you think? What do you like?
I enjoyed it.
I think. How many stars did you?
I'd give it a 3.5.
All right. Favorite part?
It had quite a few funny moments. I enjoyed the Teddy itself. I love that little Teddy. I'm not sure how they fit a giant bomb in him, but apparently it fit a lot of electronics in him.
Well, there's also not androids that run around and know kung fu either. So I mean,
I'm pretty sure those are real though. At least in Canada, where this was made.
Androids are real in Canada.
Oh, we should also mention the epic saga ending of Sideshow.
Oh yeah, Sideshow basically gets hurt over and over and over again through this entire fucking movie.
And then just fucking kills himself randomly.
Spoiler alert. He just says fuck it and just blows it. Oh, because he's trying to get his medical cleared by one of his superiors, and he's like, we don't have medical anymore, but you can do life insurance, and that we still pay out on that. And then our hero Chris shows up, starts fucking everyone up, and Sideshow's like, "No, I'm out of here." And he starts to walk away, and he goes, "You know what? Fuck it." And then he shoots himself in the head.
Well, first he's like, "Don't hurt me anymore. I'll tell you where they are." That's where he found out where the warehouse was.
Yeah,
I'll tell you where they are.
He beat up
and then he leaves, and then he doesn't even hurt him anymore, but he kills himself.
Probably because people
isn't health insurance free in Canada?
I know, right?
Wasn't this made in Canada?
I thought it was. Maybe it's not made in Canada, and it just uses Canadian money because that's what they had in hand.
I'm
Or
pretty
maybe
sure it was made
maybe
in
it was
Canada.
all Monopoly money, and I just misidentified that other stuff as Canadian. I don't know. I can't be sure.
I'm pretty sure this is a Canadian movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. All right,
Canadian
so
exploitation.
nobody in this is a very good actor, but no one's terrible either. It's pretty I would say average for this budget of film, which, like I said, it looks like two shiny nickels are rubbed together to make it. Though clearly more effort and money went into it because we got to see a much more finished product than what was shot because there's dubbing. So clearly, there's at least three nickels rubbed together for this fucking movie.
And there was a lot of the acting was a little overdone on purpose, I believe.
Yeah.
A little extravagant.
Some of it's just bad too.
Yeah, but a lot of the characters seem to be big facial expressions and talking loud on purpose.
You can do worse in this movie, but honestly, as shot on video independent films, you can't do much better than this. This is a pretty damn good shot on video, independent, no budget film. Pretty good. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
4 stars,
goofy.
by the way. I give it 4 stars to answer that question.
Yeah, it's supposed to be goofy, and it did that well.
It's an action comedy, yeah, and it was funny. It was never boring. That's the one thing. Is a lot of these shot on video films, there's like a middle part where it's boring, right? This movie was never boring. It held my attention the whole time.
Because we've seen some movies where they're like, we're goofy and we're gonna over the top act, and it's just not done well.
It's terrible usually.
But this was not one of those.
Right. Yeah. This is definitely a. I would say it's up there with like a Direwit Films or some of the other like good bad movie makers out there. There's a few of them out there. Moturn Media. It's up there with them. Like it's a quality little production.
And that's actually how I found out about it.
Oh, Moturn Media? The podcast, right?
Someone who worked on this called in to the podcast and mentioned Teddy Bomb. As well as, look, I don't know the guy's name, sorry, but he also apparently shows movies like this in Moturn Media movies and just low budget movies in general. We'll show them in a movie theater somewhere in Canada.
Now, here's a little secret to this one. The reason why this one works, there's heart. These people wanted to make a fun movie. They didn't have any money, but they did it anyway. Or didn't have a lot of money, they did it anyway. You know what I mean? Unlike a lot of those shot on video films are, we're gonna be famous and make movies for money. Like, no. And some of the people are just like deluded artists who think they're making art and it's really bad. But this was not that. This was actually genuinely enjoyable. So. Oh right, I didn't pick for a movie for next week. Shit.
Vibrations.
No.
Vibrations.
You can pick Vibrations.
Did we both buy it and neither one of us are going to pick it?
Is that what's going to happen? You don't want to pick it?
Maybe.
Oh, we both bought it and no one's going to pick it. It's hilarious. Alright. Let's see here. I'm thinking either the Sergio Santiago film Death Force or Violent Shit 1.
Neither one of them sound good.
Well, I didn't say they were good movies. Oh, here, I'll give you a choice. Death Force with that gentleman with the samurai sword. Sorry, that gentleman with the samurai sword. Or Super Inframan, which is a giant, it's like Ultraman ripoff from Hong Kong.
Death Force.
Death Force. We're watching Death Force next week. That will be the movie.
We'll keep the samurai sword trend going here.
Yeah, there's a double bill for you. Yeah, that'll do it for us next. We'll see you guys next week for Death Force, and definitely check this one out. If you got the $26 to buy it, that's with shipping to the U.S. Probably less if you're in Canada, since it's from Canada. Hey, it is from Canada because it's shipping from Canada. Anyway, if If you got the $26, you really should buy it. It's actually worth it. I'm gonna pick the damn thing up. Good shit. So, yeah. That'll do this for next week. No, for this week. We'll see you next week. Peace, guys.